A question I get all the time is, would I still house hack if I were starting out today? And the answer to that question is hands down yes. But in today's video, I want to make sure you understand why that's a yes. And I'm going to be going over topics like what is actually working in today's market, things like what you want to avoid in today's market, and what has changed from when I first started till today. So if you want to hear all about this and why house hacking is still one of the fastest way to get to financial freedom, this is the perfect video for you. My name is Sean McAteer, the house hacking realtor of Northern New Jersey. I make videos like this to make sure you are on the fast track to your real estate goals. Let's kick this video off plain and simple here. At the end of the day, you probably came to the realization that real estate is a smart investment. That's why you're looking up videos like this. So then it becomes a question of what are you going to invest in? You know, you buy that single family property, you need a place to live, smart investment, okay, cool. But at the end of the day, that property really only works if you are working 40 hours a week, maybe you have a boatload of money, or you know, you're gonna have to pay for a mortgage some way, somehow. So what are the alternatives? Well, plain and simple here. House hacking, live in one unit, rent out the other, let your tenants pay the bulk of your mortgage is one of the best ways of going about this. And it's been like that for my mentor, his mentor, when I started till today. I have dozens of clients of doing this every single year on a very high level. So purchasing a property, live in one unit, rent out the other, allows you to own the real estate while someone else is paying a good portion of the mortgage. In some cases, the entire mortgage. I kid you not. In 2025, I have multiple clients who have had the mortgage covered for them completely while they're living in the property. And I have lots of clients who are definitely cash flowing once they exit the property. So cash flow is absolutely possible. Don't worry, I'll be discussing that later on in the video, so stick around for all this so you don't miss anything. But absolutely, house hacking is continuing to be one of the most successful ways, especially for new real estate investors wanting to get their foot in the door. And I'll definitely be discussing why it's so beneficial at the end of this video, so you're going to want to stay tuned for all of this. So what's working in today's market and what's not working? Well, I'll say this, a big change that happened from when I first started till today is things like the turnkey type properties. They work, they're there, but they're kind of slow. And that was kind of the story when I first started as well. It wasn't exactly the fast track with a turnkey, but you could buy a turnkey property, it appreciates, things work out well. Now it's very difficult. Those types of properties are hard to come across. They're very competitive, lots of bidding. Matter of fact, I just put an offer in on one this weekend, and it wasn't even exactly turnkey. It still had some older electrical, some things that needed updating, but you know, the property was nice, and it was still a bidding war in 2026, well above ask price. And on top of it, it was a side-by-side property, which is very lucrative. Those are very desirable. Everyone wants the side-by-sides. They're kind of like the unicorn in multifamily housing. There are not many of them, and very desirable. So this one ended up getting bid up much higher than ask price, probably about $50,000 over ask price. Don't know for sure yet until it closes, but that's the feedback I got from the listing agent on this property. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at a property that is very much turnkey, it is extremely difficult in today's market. And then having a way to make sure it cash flows, does all that kind of stuff, it's tough. So something that I'll say that has changed a lot is that I try to say, be open-minded to renovating and take on those properties that might need a little bit more work, because that's also going to get you places much faster. It's going to allow you to get property 2, 3, and 4 much faster if you are taking on projects like that. All that being said, it's still not impossible. I've got clients, I got 2 clients that closed on really turnkey type properties this past year. They're doing well. So it's not the end of the world. What your comfort level matters. If you're not comfortable taking on a project, not a big deal. If you want to take on a project, or if you want to have a conversation with me and talk about some of my preferred vendors that can help you through this process so you don't have to be doing all the sheetrock, you know, the roof, the plumbing and everything like that, why don't you shoot me a text at 973-221-9131. Text the words invest. I will reply to you, and I will be more than happy to connect you with some of the people that I use and have a conversation so we can map out a plan. Because at the the end of the day, a lot of people come to me that don't want to do any type of renovations at all, but we still find properties that need to be renovated because they're just leveraging the team that I have in place and the people that I have in place. All right. So that being said, I will say one of the biggest advantages from when I first started to today is finding properties that are distressed from any level, whether they're a full-blown gut to just updating a kitchen and bathroom. It goes such a long way in terms of getting the equity, getting the rent increases, and getting to property number two, because it's much easier to get to property number two when you have a lot of equity in a property. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Oh, I love having equity in property. I love finding properties that have equity in them too. So creative ways of finding value add criteria in our homes, all that type of stuff really, really makes a huge difference. Before I get to why house hacking is still the fastest path to getting to your financial freedom, your financial goals through real estate investing, I want to talk a little bit more about new things that are happening in today's market. A big one right now is the midterm rental. We're seeing such success with that because we're seeing a substantial increase in rent. And especially when you find those types of properties that are maybe not the best, maybe like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, like where are you going to rent that out to a long-term tenant for $1,500 a month? All of a sudden we're seeing that $1,500 a month rental turn into a $3,000 a month rental, or maybe a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $2,000 is all of a sudden going to be a $4,000 a month rental. Now look, I'm not making up these numbers. These are real numbers from actual clients. I have multiple clients who are setting records, like up there, setting records for highest rent collected in town because we're implementing the midterm rental strategy. Not that many people are doing it, and though people are doing it, they're kind of figuring it out while we have the system in place and we haven't figured out. So if that's something you're into, by all means, once again, text word invest. I'm more than happy to hop on a call and have a conversation about midterm rentals because it's a game changer in today's market, and it did not exist when I first started house hacking. So if you want to make some more money on your next house hack, I would say midterm rental might be one of the fastest ways of doing it. The one way that I will say that is definitely still continuing to kick butt, and it was like it when I first started, and it is today. I actually still have a rental like this, and that's gonna be the college rental. College rental is really, really doing well in today's market. It continues to do well, but it always depends on the university. Not every university is the same. Believe it or not, there's some universities that are just, it's not a smart idea. And then there's others that are just absolute gold mines for college rentals. And we just see crazy, crazy rent increases. So you want to make sure you know which ones you want to rent from. One of the easiest ways of learning that is, once again, have a call or click subscribe to this channel, especially if you like everything that we're hearing, because you want to stay up to date on videos when they come out. I release a video once a week all about real estate investing in northern New Jersey, from map tours to how to structure your leases and everything else in between. So if you want to be up to date on all that, click subscribe and hit the bell so you get those alerts. All right, so moving along here, still so much more to share in this video, all about house hacking and why it is just hands down amazing for you. And I will say one of the biggest reasons for that is the fact that you know, what does it take to purchase real estate? If you're going to, let's say, not own or occupy the property, you're probably gonna have to put anywhere from 20 to 25% down. Okay, $1 million property, not exactly uncommon in northern New Jersey. That means $250,000 to buy $1 million property. Do you have $250,000 sitting around? Maybe you do. Good for you. That's awesome. But now the question becomes, how do you get the property number two? Another $250,000, another $250,000, and so on. Or how about this? What if you had $250,000 and it only costs you $50,000 to get into that multifamily property? Would you want to do it? My guess is yes. And that's why I love house hacking so much, is because you get the opportunity to have owner-occupied loans. Owner-occupied loans is such an unfair advantage game changer. For $50,000, in some cases less, I kid you not, I've got clients doing 0% down buying properties because they're owner occupying it. It's possible, but let's just say for $50,000, imagine getting $1 million property. All right, I mean, that's great. And the best part about it is it's $1 million property. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, why is that so good? Okay, well, here's the thing. If it's $1 million today, why not is it going to be $1.5 million in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is, $2 million? And that's one of the things I always look at with house hacking in an expensive market like northern New Jersey is people that say, well, go invest out of state. And it's like, it took 100 years for somewhere out of state maybe to become a $200,000 property or a $300,000 property. Meanwhile, it took 100 years to become $1 million property in New Jersey. What would you rather have? Would you rather have the $200,000 property and hopefully in 50 years it becomes a $300,000 property? Or would you rather have that $1 million property knowing that in 30, 40, 50 years, it's going to be a $2 million property because of the appreciation, demand, what's happening in our state? So one of the reasons I love northern New Jersey so much is that we get substantially high appreciation, and not just on the property, but on the rent as well. I love the rental increases we get, huge rental increases year over year. That's why I love creative strategies like midterm rentals, college rentals, and heck, even the long-term rentals. My long-term units are just performing amazing because I'm in the right towns. That's correct, the right towns, not the ones that don't really let you do certain things like raise rents. You know, you want to avoid those towns. Those towns are not the best when they don't really let you raise rents. You want to have the right ones. So having the right strategy, right team in place goes such a long ways in this. All right, making sure you can own or occupy a property gets you there so much faster, because look and think about this, to the out-of-state analogy. You go to buy, let's say, a $400,000 house out of state, it's going to cost you $100,000 to put that 25% down. Once again, $50,000 can get you a $1 million house in New Jersey. Okay, imagine that getting paid off in 30 years with the appreciation, with everything else going on, the rents. You're talking cash cows. That's why I love this state. I'm kind of diving deeper on why house hacking is still the fastest way to grow wealth in real estate investing, in my opinion. And that is the fact that you can just now get multiple properties like this. I've got clients that are moving property to property to property, just like my wife and I did. We literally moved property to property. We've purchased 4 homes with under 10% down loans. And it's like the amount of money that it takes just to save up a down payment. How long would it take you to save up a down payment if the down payment had to be 25% every single time? All right, now that's another reason why I love value add strategies, because we don't have to save up the 25%, first of all, because we're house hackers. Second of all, we can now leverage the equity in the home that we're renovating. So you renovate the property, increase the equity, take out money from the property, home equity line of credit, refinance, whichever way you want to go. And then you take that money and now go to property number 2. Now look, this plays a huge part. I want to be very transparent here. The proper lending plays a huge role. If you want to get connected with lenders that actually are very, very good at house hacking, not the ones that claim to be. I've seen a lot of them. I've been around the block a lot of times, really having difficult with crazy closings where things not happening the way they are. I've got high quality lenders, vetted lenders that will get you house hacking style loans nationwide. So that's not even a New Jersey thing. If you want them nationwide, really good lenders. If you want that, make sure you text me. I'm going to put it in the description below, but it's 973-221-9131. Text me lending, and I will make sure to connect you with my preferred house hacking style lenders, okay? Because I want to make sure that you're not going to be there kind of getting yes to death. That's what I always say. You get yes to death. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, 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 we'll do this. Yes, we'll do everything, to find out that, it wasn't exactly what we thought it was, and we can't close the loan, or you have to put more money down. Don't want to see that. But having the proper lending in place plays such a huge role with house hacking, getting you to property number 2, property number 3, structuring it the right way from the get-go plays a huge role. And that's why you want to work with an expert that's done this before, not someone that's guessing, not someone that's hypothesizing, not like, oh, maybe we can house hack. I think it's possible because I think someone maybe did it. Work with someone that's doing what you want to do, that has done what you want to do. Repeat the secrets that work. It's such an easy hack that I love sharing with house hackers. That's why I make videos like this. If you want to learn about house hacking, dive deeper and learn a little bit more about your personal situation, I'm always here to have a one-on-one conversation. If not, this video right here, I suggest you watch it because it's probably going to help you out big time on your next multifamily house hack purchase in northern New Jersey. Have a good day. We'll see you.